Okay, there's two types of thoughts, two types of lives that we're battling with continually. It's what they talk about in Ephesians and in Colossians, the old life and the new life, right? The old life, it says to put off the old self, which belongs to the former manner of life, which is corrupt and deceitful desires, and to be renewed in the spirit of your mind, right? To be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self. And so constantly we live these lives where we're called to put off the old and put on the new. And so there's this battle that we have here. Now here's how this plays out. Do not be conformed to present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God. Here's the problem that we have with the old life, new life. The old life tells us this. The old life, this is our pattern that we do, right? This is me right here. And the problem with the way that we do life is that when you're in a situation, when you're wondering, what do I do next? And I don't know why this happened to me, and why is this always going through? I had an old track coach that used to tell me all the times that whenever we're struggling with things, we play two games. They're called Pity Poor Me and My Ain't It Awful. And they always chase each other. Pity poor me, my ain't it awful. Pity poor me. And what happens is we live this life that looks like this, right? It's a life where it's a self-centered life. When you're in this point, all you can think about is how this impacts me, how this affects me. Okay, now there's a difference, and it's important you know the difference. There's a difference between self-centeredness and selfishness. Selfishness is, I know that this is going to hurt you, and I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. Selfishness is always wrong. Self-centeredness is just where I'm put into a position where all I can do is think about how this impacts me. Self-centeredness is when I've got cancer and I'm going through cancer treatments, and I'm doing all I can just to get up in the morning to make it to my treatment and back. And I can't be with people because my platelet counts are low and because all these things. And all I can think about is how the world around me revolves around me, how this impacts me. Now, self-centeredness is also the spot where you're sitting when you just lost your job and you're like, I lost my job. I'm the only one who ever loses their job like this. Why are these people happening here? If this person gets this job, it's going to end up affecting me in this way. And how does this? And so self-centeredness is where we are constantly, the world revolves around us. Everything in our world is just revolving around us. And the problem is, most of the time, if not all the times, when we are stuck with this question and we're constantly going over, what do I do with my life? What do I do with my life? We quickly get into this situation right here, where all of a sudden we begin to only think about how it affects us. Now here's something that's real important. With this type of a life, this self-centered life, it looks like this, right? It looks like this, the spiral. But the truth of it is actually like this. Like that's the aerial view of this. Because the deal is with this spiral right here, oh, my laser pointer. This spiral right here, it always spirals down. You always, when you're in a self-centered life, then all you can think about is how this impacts me, how this affects me. It always will spiral you down, and it spirals you down to this point right here, which is into a place of isolation. Right? It puts you down into isolation, and all of a sudden you believe the lies. I'm the only one who deals with this. Why is this happening to me? I'm the only one that's ever like this. I'm the only one who struggled with this. Everyone else gets this right. When you are in isolation, you have to remember, bad things happen in isolation. Bad things always happen in isolation. All the way back in Genesis. Genesis started with, it is not good for man to be alone. Why? Bad things happen in isolation. Now, you take that, the difference between the self-centered life, which is this right here, which is what I would call it the world. Okay, we'll call this a world life. This is what it's like to be part of the world. This is the world's view of things, which is, I don't care about anything else around me. It really, all that matters about you. It's an individualized importance. You take this and you put that in conjunction with Romans 1, which is the self-sacrificing life, right? As opposed to the self-centered life, we're called, and this is going to be a great one right here. This is my altar I'm building, right? There you go. We are called, oh, that's a sharp rock, so I can't do that one. There you go. We're called to place ourselves on the altar. How's that? That's nice. Every day, present your body as a living sacrifice. Everyone knows the story, right? What's the problem with a living sacrifice? It keeps crawling off the altar. A living sacrifice always wants to keep crawling off the altar. But this says that each and every day we are to present ourselves, present our bodies, our whole self, as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is worship. Which means each and every day we are called as followers of Christ to surrender yourself, surrender your family, surrender your friends, surrender your relationships, surrender all of this, and most importantly, you surrender all of this to God. And you wake up every morning, whether the day is going good, the day is going bad, and you wake up and you get up every morning and you say, this is my life. You hold it out here. God, what are you going to have for me today? And you present your body as a living sacrifice. Now, once you know that, once you know what our call is, that this is how God, obviously we're called as believers to worship God and live lives of worship. And Jesus says, actually Paul says it through Jesus, Jesus says it through Paul, that right here, this is how you do it. You present your body as a living sacrifice, and that is your worship every day. And so when you sing, you're worshiping, but only if your heart's like this. When you're in church and you're raising your hands and you're worshiping, that's worship, but only if your heart's like this. Only if that worship is accompanied by a heart of complete surrender again and again and again.